morning, coming up here on GMA, we're following the breaking news from overseas, the devastating earthquake that has killed hundreds in Turkey and Syria. We're going to have the latest on that. And the fallout after the Chinese spy balloon was shot down over the weekend and what it could mean for relations with China. Those stories and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
People meet me and they think she's the woman whose nephew survived the plane crash. But they forget I'm also the woman who lost my big sister.
Taylor Schilling, Colin O'Brien, and Connie Britton lead the cast of Dear Edward, based on the best-selling novel.
So courageously, Lacey lets go of one idea of what she thinks life is going to be and fully embraces what is in front of her. And I found her, there's so much celebration in that.
I think it's fascinating always to see the experience that people have when their lives are just blown apart and how that sort of forces you to see who you really are. I know you want to run away. I want to run away too. But life has to go on.
There's something about grief that makes you really brave because you've lost it all. And you're like, well, let me just go do the thing that I've always wanted to do, but I've always been afraid to do.
My grandmother paved the way. And there is no one more committed to carrying on her legacy than I am.
I think it's really important to open the door for people to talk about it because I think so often we freeze up when somebody's gone through a loss, and the whole idea is like not to mention it when actually people want to talk about it.
Kind of travels and follows how these characters find hope and redefine themselves through community and friends and new connections, and how they move past the grief through other people.
After I got to 200, I lost count. Why is everyone writing to him?
Because he survived.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
February is here, and if you're looking for something fun to do, you're in luck. We've got a whole list of a lot of fun activities posted on our website. That includes a San Antonio Coffee Festival. I'm going to that one. Natural Bridge Caverns Trail Run, and of course, the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Just look for this article over on KSAT.com to read more about all the February fun to come. Well, still to come on the next hour of GMSA this morning. San Antonio police say a man is dead after he was shot during a car club meetup late last night. We'll have an update. And checking TransGuide, on the lookout for fog. Dense fog advisory in effect for many of our KSAT 12 counties. We'll talk to Stephen and Mike coming up.
Let's look out there with a live cam. You can't really tell in this shot, but there is a lot of fog out there. We're at 59 degrees and not too cold this morning.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hope you had a great weekend. Your day's top stories are coming up. It is Monday, February 6th.
Thanks for joining us. A great weekend, great Sunday, especially with the weather. Very nice.
And we jump into Monday with a dense fog advisory. And this is a good chunk of our viewing area, is it not, Mike?
Yes. And the past couple of mornings we've had dense fog advisories and had a lot of thick fog. Difference being we are a lot warmer around here this morning, and we're going to be very warm later on this afternoon. You know, it's kind of funny to think we were down in the mid-30s Saturday morning, and we had all the icing earlier, and now we are, and we started off last week in the mid-70s. Now we're back up in the mid-70s, just up and down and up and down, and that's kind of the way it's going to be the rest of the week. 59 degrees at the airport, dew points at 58, so with those temperatures running neck and neck like that, you get some fog, very high relative humidity, and that's the situation all around. We've got mid-upper 50s around here, very high dew points, still 8 miles visibility out at the airport, but again, it's this one little hole right here, northern Bexar County, because you go down to Stinson just a half mile, same thing, New Braunfels, thick fog up there to the northwest, so that hole may start to close in, so keep that in mind on the north side of town and going up into northern Bexar County. And then a lot of fog down here to the southeast, Pleasanton now at 0 visibility, not bad in portions of the hill country. And as we were talking about that dense fog advisory, big chunk of the area up until 10 o'clock, so it's going to be sticking around, might have a little bit of some damp roads, some mist as well. Mountain cedars moderate, molds on the light side. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour and a half or so. Temperatures won't move this morning. We'll stay mid-upper 50s. Little bit of sunshine by late morning. That's going to get us to the upper 60s by noon, and then we'll continue into the mid-70s. So it is going to be very warm, about 10 degrees above normal, mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, a couple of little sprinkly showers in the overnight hours and the first part of the day tomorrow, but the better chance of rain is going to be coming into the picture late in the day tomorrow night, and early on Wednesday. Another couple of fronts. We get some rain chances and then some more beautiful weather and some colder weather as well. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Mr. Cavazos, what's up?
Hey, well, Mike, that fog has not gone anywhere. So and that's like you said, we can expect to see that for the commute at least up through mid-morning. So I'm going to keep a close eye on things. But thankfully at this hour, it's not impacting traffic. We're just seeing a few more folks out there. There's 35 at 37. You could see maybe just a few more folks getting the morning started. 35 at Cesar Chavez. A lot more activity out there, both the north and southbound lanes. So just watch out. But again, that fog does seem to be thickening up in some parts, but we're going to keep a close eye on it. I do want to bring your attention to a stall along Loop 604 eastbound at Redland Road. Now, unfortunately, it's in that area where those TransGuide cameras just won't be able to show us the conditions out there. But I can tell you a little bit of a slowdown there along Loop 1604 East. Do want to make note that check your vehicles before you get out on the roadways this morning, and anytime you see those flashing lights, you know what to do. Move over or slow down. All right, giving you a wide look at the metropolitan area. A lot of that construction will basically be the headline of the morning right now, aside from the fog. But we're going to keep a close eye on those spots as well, because TxDOT crews will be pretty busy a little bit later today. More of that in just a minute. But I do want to also tell you about these travel times right now, because we're already seeing a little bit of a slowdown along 281 southbound, heading in from Bulverde, a 28-minute drive time to the Alamo City. Hey, but that journey from Bernie is not too bad. 24 minutes along I-10 eastbound. And right now, not too awful from New Braunfels, 25 minutes along I-35 south. But let's get you back here on TransGuide. Again, 410 west at Cherry Ridge. Not a lot has changed in terms of traffic just yet, but we are getting closer to morning rush. So we're going to have an update coming up in the next few minutes. Guys?
Stephen, thank you. New this morning, a man is dead after he was shot during a car club meetup late last night. Happened around 10:30 in the parking lot of 1604 North near Petrenko. That's on the west side. We're told after officers initially dispersed to meet up at the parking lot in 410 at Marbach, those cars relocated to a second parking lot. That's where police say a man walked up to one of the cars, knocked out a back window, and shots were fired. A passenger was shot in the head. Police say he was taken to an emergency clinic where he was pronounced dead by clinic staff.
And another deadly shooting overnight. This one happened just after 1 on South Calavera Street near Frio City Road and Highway 90. We're told officers found a man dead inside an apartment. Right now, investigators don't have any suspect information, but they are reviewing that video from the apartments.
It is National Gun Violence Survivors Week, and a survivor of the Robb Elementary School shooting is sharing his story. Jaden Canizales is a 10-year-old and a huge Cowboys fan. He says he has mostly good days and likes to be called a survivor. By sharing his story, he hopes it will push people to make changes so other kids don't have to go through what he did.
There should be no more guns here or anywhere else, because no bad people will come to everybody's school.
Now, according to Everytown for Gun Safety, National Gun Violence Survivors Week is recognized the first week of February because by that time, the U.S. has typically surpassed the number of gun deaths experienced by similar countries in an entire calendar year.
Topping your morning headlines in Turkey, a second massive earthquake. This one, a powerful 7.6 magnitude quake in southern Turkey and northern Syria. That's after the first 7.8 quake. It has toppled buildings and triggered a frantic search for survivors. At least 1,300 people are dead and hundreds others are hurt. That number is expected to rise as rescue workers search the wreckage.
Well, this is a story we are following closely this morning as crews go through rubble across the region in Turkey and parts of Syria. The White House has already announced assistance is on the way.
ABC's Derek Dennis is tracking the latest developments this morning and has that report.
This morning, death and destruction in south-central Turkey and in neighboring Syria. A magnitude 7.8 earthquake, followed by a series of aftershocks, leaving a rising number of dead and dozens of buildings destroyed. At the top of one building, arcing wires could be seen lighting up the sky. The main tremor felt in at least 9 cities. Survivors out of breath and in a daze, searching for loved ones buried in debris. The epicenter in the Turkish city of Kahramanmaraş, near the border with Syria. So close, the Syrian civil defense declared an emergency, noting the collapse of several residential buildings and activating teams to rescue the stranded and those trapped under the rubble. But the damage in Turkey is extensive. Even those whose homes are still standing saw light fixtures sway as debris fell around them. The White House National Security Advisor issuing a statement saying President Biden has directed U.S. aid and other federal government partners to assess U.S. response options.
We have warehouses filled with aid. We're already deploying trucks, rerouting trucks from Warsaw. They're already en route this afternoon straight to Turkey, and we already have teams at the airport right now from Warsaw, so they'll be landing there by 1:30.
And Turkey's President Erdogan tweeting the quake was felt in many parts of the country, adding search and rescue teams have been immediately dispatched, and expressing his hope that we will get through this disaster together. The death toll between Turkey and Syria is staggering, and search crews are only just beginning to comb through the rubble. Syria's civil defense calling it a catastrophe. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
Topping your morning consumer news, Apple may be looking to add a more expensive option to its upcoming iPhone lineup. Bloomberg reports the company is considering an iPhone 15 Ultra as early as next year. It would be faster, more powerful, and much pricier than the Pro and Pro Max models.
Twitter is reportedly planning to charge businesses $1,000 per month for a gold verification checkmark. The pricey program is said to be an attempt to boost revenue. It's not clear when it will be rolled out.
And Google Chrome will soon make it easier to get rid of your browsing history. An option to delete up to 15 minutes of browser information is coming to Chrome for Android. A similar function was made available last year on the Google app. No word on when it will debut.
The time now is 6:08 and 59 degrees for now.
Still to come, new details on that near miss between a passenger jet and a cargo plane at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. That's coming up in your GMA First Look.
Also after the break, a look at some of the stories trending right now on KSAT.com, including why people were going through the dumpsters at an Austin H-E-B. It's a story that still has some people buzzing this morning.
I saw that video last night. It was quite a scene. All right, outside with live cam, folks. It's rodeo kickoff week, and we'll talk to Mike about a forecast for that coming up.
Welcome back at 6:12. Trending right now on KSAT.com. You might have seen this video of people dumpster diving for what they thought was free food at an H-E-B store in Austin. Now officials are warning about the food taken by nearly 250 people. So this video went viral on social media last week after a misleading post claimed the food was free. Travis County officials posted on social media that the discarded food is rotten and spoiled and unsafe to eat, asking anyone who got food to throw it out. Now, H-E-B threw out the perishable foods because they couldn't keep it at a certain temperature during the power outages from that ice storm.
Now to a bizarre story out of Galveston. Police there say people reported headless animal carcasses on the beach yesterday morning. They say they found dead goats, chickens, and a pigeon. We're told the animals were a part of some sort of ceremony which involves animal sacrifice for religious purposes. No word yet if criminal charges will be filed.
3 puppies found in a ditch during the recent wintry weather are looking for forever homes. So Animal Care Services says the dogs named Dylan, Alex, and Natalie were found cold and covered in ticks. The good news, they are all in good health right now, so you can learn more about adopting them on our website at KSAT.com. Just look for the story on our homepage.
Monday morning, 6:13.
How's it going, Stephen?
Well, those flashing lights, guys, you know, we can expect them at some point of the day. And this is really the first shot that we have here at 410 at Perrin Vital. Let's get a wider look at TransGuide. That does appear to be a TxDOT Hero truck, and you can see the driver's actually out there. Looks like a stalled vehicle off on the side on the shoulder lane, so it's really not impacting traffic. Our friends at TransGuide moving the camera just in time to give us a shot of the conditions out there, and you really can see a lot more of that fog that we talked about, and that's what we can really expect, at least for the next few hours or so. So just watch out as the commute does get rolling. I do want to get your attention here to 410 eastbound at Bandera Road. According to TxDOT, we do have our first crash of the morning. I'm trying to comb through some of the cameras there, but unfortunately, I'm not able to get a shot of the conditions, but I'll get them on the phone, find out exactly what's going on and how that's going to impact the drive time at this time. But you can see pretty much everywhere else, we're thankfully seeing a lot of green out there. But while we're talking about State Highway 16, or Bandera Road, as we all know it, there is going to be some utility work that will take place a little bit later this weekend on Friday, February 10th. That should wrap on Monday, February 13th. Overnight work, guys. So 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning is when we will see a full lane closure in both directions right there at the Cedar Trail intersection. So grab those phones if you're at home and scan the QR code that is now on the screen that will take you to our KSAT traffic page. And you know, it has all the information about the roadways and construction. And of course, any other incidents that pop up on our radar, we'll be sure to let you know before you go. And it does look like we are trying to get a shot of a different situation there at 410 at Starcrest. Again, friends at TransGuide tend to move the cameras around just to give us a view of what we're seeing out there. And right now, it just looks like a busy shot of traffic.
Yeah, we don't always know what they're looking at, but we eventually find out.
Yes, we're looking at a monitor over here.
Yeah.
The one thing, though, there's not a lot of fog at
that
shot.
I'm not seeing I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't see a lot of fog out in that shot.
And again, it depends on where you are this morning.
Yeah.
So your school bus may run into a lot of fog. It may not. A jacket, yeah, it's not a bad idea just because it's sort of that dampish cool when you have so much humidity out there. So mostly cloudy, a little fog, maybe some mist on the roads. Just kind of watch out for that. And 75 high temperature today. Plenty of clouds, not a heck of a lot of sunshine, unlike yesterday, unlike Saturday, when we started off with all the fog and then had just beautiful sunshine around here.
There it is. So some sort of flashing lights.
There it is. There are the flashing lights. Yeah.
And it's foggy.
Actually, it does look foggy in that particular view from the TransGuide camera. Yeah.
Again, perfect example. You can be driving along, clear skies, and run into some of that fog. So Stephen's going to show you that in just a couple of minutes around here. All right, here's what's going on out there at, looks like Woodlawn Lake, maybe just a ducky day yesterday. Thank you very much. And, of course, what am I thinking?
Ducks in a row.
Very good.
That was good.
He knows me well if we've been working together for 2 decades. So there we have 10 at 410. At least this picture has improved slightly. We can kind of see a little more of the traffic there on 10 westbound, right past the interchange with 410. And 8 miles at the airport, just over a mile at Port SA. And again, we still have this little hole right here, right in northern San Antonio, North Bexar County, but then fog all around, except out in the hill country and right down there along the coast, kind of on the edges and the outskirts. So it's in the middle where we have the dense fog advisory, zero visibility right now, heading down 37 in toward Pleasanton. This advisory is in effect up until 10 o'clock. So it will definitely be stubborn. It may get thicker in places. Again, watch it like we were just talking about on 410. You may be driving down the road, turn the corner, run into some of that thick fog, or even just going down the highway. We keep a lot of clouds around throughout the day, limited sunshine, and then a few little sprinkles are going to be possible later on tonight and in the overnight hours, perhaps a couple of damp spots on the roads tomorrow morning. And then throughout the day, we'll just have a few showers scattered about here and there. But the majority of the rain and any stronger storms are going to be forming up tomorrow night. Here's the front that's moving on through, and that's especially going to be further off to the east of us, way over there by Houston, where we may see a couple of potentially severe storms. Storm Prediction Center already has half of the eastern half of our area kind of flagged for an isolated strong to severe storm. But again, we'll be on sort of the fringes of that. The further east you go, the better the chance for one or two of those storms. High winds and a little bit of hail would be the biggest threats with that. Satellite picture, you can't really see the low clouds showing up, a little darker shade of gray right there. But upstream from us, the next system really doesn't show up all that well. You can see just a little bit of a circulation right there, but it shows up very well on the water vapor imagery. That's the next low, which is going to continue to slide on in here, give us the chance for some rain as it approaches. And this is also going to pull down the next front. So it comes through and we have leftover showers early on Wednesday. We get on the backside of that, much cooler temperatures and sort of a little reinforcing shot of colder air comes in here then for Friday and Saturday. Then we start to get milder again with the next system, which is going to be moving on in here and give us another chance for some rain then by this time next week. So today, got fog around this morning, 68 at noon, mostly cloudy skies, a couple of peaks of sunshine here and there. Same thing later on today, 75 high temperature. And then overnight, a few little sprinkly showers, few of them throughout the day tomorrow. Better chance of a shower, even a thunderstorm is going to be late tomorrow, probably closer to dinner time and then into the evening hours. And the majority of anything stronger would be further off to the east. We get the front moving through, clears us out, cools us down, another reinforcing shot of some colder air. So that'll get us to the low 40s Friday, low 30s Saturday morning, and more clouds move in here for the weekend.
Stephen is saying that we've got a stalled vehicle eastbound 410 at Starcrest. So no big deal right now. Just be advised. Right now, 6:20, 59 degrees.
And we're getting ready to cheer on our San Antonio Spurs as they kick off the rodeo road trip tonight. Just ahead, how the rookies are getting ready for all the action.
Moderate to severe eczema. It doesn't care if you have a date, a day off, or a double shift. Make your move and get out in front of eczema with steroid-free Sabinco. Not an injection. Sabinco is a once-daily pill for adults who didn't respond to previous treatments. And it's proven to help provide clearer skin and relieve itch fast. Sabinco continuously treats eczema whether you're flaring or not.
Sabinco can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections and do blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections. Do not take with medicines that prevent blood clots, serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, lung, skin, and other cancers. Serious heart-related events and blood clots can happen. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of serious heart-related events or death with JAK inhibitors.
It's time to get out in front of eczema. Ask your doctor about once daily Sabinco.
In this morning's GMA First Look, new details on that scary runway close call. An urgent federal investigation underway at the Austin airport after what could have been a devastating accident over the weekend. A near miss between a FedEx cargo jet and a Southwest Airlines plane.
FedEx 1432, you are to the land traffic department prior to route 737.
Air traffic control giving FedEx permission to land and soon after giving the okay for Southwest to enter that same runway to take off.
Southwest Airlines are confirmed on the road. We're on now.
But less than 30 seconds later,
Southwest aboard. FedEx is on the go.
Southwest forced to change course, the two planes coming within a mile of one another. So what will investigators be looking at? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Okay, Spurs fans, it's time for the annual rodeo road trip for our San Antonio Spurs. They're hoping this will help them bond as a squad, especially since they're 2-15 to start the new year. Our last win came January 17th, and the Spurs have lost 8 in a row. This will be a brand new experience for the rookies.
Yeah, I don't know what to pack. I know I'm probably gonna bring like 2 suitcases and just ask the guys because they've been on a rodeo trip. So I don't know what to pack, but I'm probably gonna start packing tonight.
I mean, it's not my first rodeo trip. I feel like I've been around for a little bit now. So for me, I want to say I'm used to it. I know what's coming. So yeah, I think obviously like the fact that we do go for dinners and stuff, like we have. We're going to have plenty of opportunities out there in all these cities to just get the team together and have some fun. So, yeah, obviously that helps.
Spurs will now play 9 straight road games. All starts tonight up in Chicago. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. First half of the road trip features Eastern Conference teams, and not one they face this week is above 500. Go Spurs, go.
Yeah, go Spurs, go. Time now 6:25 and 59 degrees for now. Let's look outside with TransGuide and looking over at that shot at Loop 410 at Starcrest. You can't see that, but earlier we had a report of a stalled vehicle eastbound there. So be careful on the roadways. We'll be right back.
Skateboard legend Tony Hawk says he'll donate half the proceeds of autographed photos of himself and BMX rider Rick Thorne to the Tyree Nichols Memorial Fund. The money will also be used to build a skate park in his name. The photos can be purchased online for $30. 1,000 copies will be available. Nichols, an avid skateboarder, FedEx worker, and father, died last month after being beaten by police during a traffic stop.
The way of water connects all things.
After 7 weeks atop the box office, Avatar: The Way of Water was overtaken by the M. Night Shyamalan thriller Knock at the Cabin.
Your family must choose to willingly sacrifice one of the 3 of you to prevent the apocalypse.
The horror film with an apocalyptic riff earned $14.2 million in ticket sales at U.S. and Canadian theaters, according to studio estimates. And happy birthday, Axl Rose. The Guns N' Roses frontman is 61 years old. Singer Rick Astley is 57. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
I just thought, come on.
We hope you had a great weekend. The sun came out this weekend. It was spectacular. This morning we were a little warmer, but we've got low clouds and fog, so we are paying a bit of a price there. Good morning and welcome back. If you're just now joining us, it is 6:30 on your Monday, February 6th.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, hope you had a wonderful weekend, especially that Sunday was just so beautiful outside.
We'd like to keep that going, but Mike said we may need the umbrella this week.
Yes, perhaps later on this evening if you're going to be heading on out, just a couple little sprinkles, but especially tomorrow, early Wednesday, and then some more beautiful weather in store. Yeah, today, just like yesterday and the day before, we're starting off with some fog. Difference being, it's a whole lot warmer out there. And we're not going to be seeing as much sunshine because yesterday afternoon was absolutely spectacular. 59 degrees out there at the airport, dew points at 58. When those two numbers are running neck and neck like that, you have relative humidities well up in the upper 90s, and that's what contributes to some of that fog. We still have pretty good visibility out at the airport, but again, you don't go too far either direction and you run into some of that fog, even up toward Bernie Stage. New Braunfels has actually improved ever so slightly, as has Castroville, but Pleasanton is now at a quarter mile. Same thing. Hondo, Uvalde's a bit better, and most of the fog again is right here in the middle chunk of our viewing area, and that's where the dense fog advisory is up until 10 o'clock this morning. You also may run into a little bit of kind of some damp roads. Some mist is always possible with some of these low clouds and the fog. Mountain cedar, moderate. Mold is on the low side, and throughout the rest of today, after a very warm and humid start, it's going to stay very warm. We get up into the mid 70s and a couple of peaks of sunshine here and there. Then overnight tonight, that's when you might need an umbrella. Late tonight, a couple of sprinkles here and there, as well as the first part of the day tomorrow. Then a better rain chance tomorrow in the afternoon. Going into tomorrow night, there may actually be a couple of stronger storms, especially well off to the east. That would be late tomorrow night into Wednesday. And then the front moves on through. It's going to clear us out. We get another reinforcing shot of colder air for late in the week, and weekend still looking pretty nice, although we will have more clouds around here by this weekend. So we've got some rain, we've got some great February temperatures. Fantastic. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, big problems out there at all?
No big problems, Mike, but definitely starting to see a few issues pop up there. Let's first talk about what's going on here along 410 at Perrin Bidle. This was one of the shots we showed you earlier, a TxDOT Hero truck out there working to assist a motorist or driver, that was looks like stranded along there outside the highway. And flashing lights are a good sign in this situation because that means we see a TxDOT Hero truck out there. The situation looks like it's clearing up pretty soon because there's a tow truck already on the scene. You could see it there on the side, but better news to report out there. So we did talk about how our friends at TransGuide tend to move the cameras around when they start to spot incidents out there. So that was along 410, and it also looks like it's closer to Starcrest Drive. We did have another stalled vehicle out there, which we showed you a little bit earlier. That's already cleared out, so better news to report. But I think this will be cleared up pretty soon, but you can see we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown out there at this hour. And really, that's just going to be the case now that we have entered morning rush. I've already seen a few school buses driving on by, so remember, anytime you see those stop signs with the flashing lights, pull out to move over, or to stop actually, and wait for those kids to get off of the bus. But back here, 410 at Perrin Bidle, I think we're going to see this wrap up pretty soon. Again, the vehicle's already on the tow truck, so better news to report out there. But other than that, the roads are just getting a little bit busier, so just watch out for the fog, which is expected to be out at least up and through mid-morning, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. New this morning, what began with fancy cars has ended with an ugly situation, a deadly shooting. San Antonio police are investigating this case. They say it happened after they broke up some sort of car club meetup overnight. Katrina Weber is live downtown with that story. And Katrina, do they have any idea why that shooting started?
That's all part of their investigation right now. They say that there was a discussion or perhaps an argument involving the victim and another person. But again, simply put, it seems police don't have a whole lot of information right now. Now, they found out about the shooting around 1 this morning after the victim turned up at an emergency clinic near Loop 1604 and Petranco Road. Police told us by the time his friends brought him there, the victim was dead. They believe, though, that this started at another location. The officers had broken up some sort of car club gathering earlier near Loop 410 and Marbach Road. but they say the group just moved to another location nearby. They believe the victim was sitting in a car when another man walked up and had words with him. And police say for some reason the shooting started after that and the victim was hit in the head. Now, they have not released any information about that victim, including an age. And so far, as far as we know, they have not made any arrests. Reporting live downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. The search is on for the suspects in 2 separate cases, and investigators hope you can help track them down. First, a hit-and-run case that claimed the life of a woman. So here's a look at the victim, 37-year-old Tanya Hernandez. The crash happened last month on I-10. Police say the driver of a motorcycle cut her off and then took off. Hernandez lost control and then crashed. She died, and 3 young passengers in the vehicle were seriously hurt.
Police are also searching for this man accused of robbing a Family Dollar store over on West Commerce. It also happened last month. We're told he allegedly went into the store, displayed a weapon, and took off with money from the register. Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information about either case. That number is 210-224-STOP. Happening today, the punishment phase in the Andre McDonald trial is set to begin.
Many were in shock after the jury found McDonald guilty of manslaughter instead of murder in the death of his wife, Andreen, back in 2019. Now, Andreen's family were among those confused and disappointed. Attorneys on both sides will now argue how long McDonald should stay behind bars. McDonald's lawyers, pushing for more time to prepare, got into a back and forth exchange with the judge. Now, Andre McDonald faces a maximum of 20 years in prison. To look for the latest, you can go on air and on our website at ksat.com. And now to Austin, where thousands of people are still without power after last week's ice storm. According to Austin Energy's outage map, there are still more than 1,200 active outages affecting about 27,000 customers. The crews have already restored power to more than 62,000 customers. Austin Energy says it has added additional contractors and mutual aid crews to help. It says it hopes to restore power to nearly all remaining customers by Sunday.
Topping your morning headlines, a briefing expected as soon as tomorrow as leaders in both chambers of Congress and key Intelligence Committee members are getting more information about that Chinese balloon incident. Also, a full Senate classified briefing is scheduled for later next week. Officials say a single missile brought down the balloon on Saturday. While President Biden declared the takedown a success, some Republicans say the balloon should have been brought down much sooner. The Chinese government is apparently upset about it, saying the airship was for civilian use and entered U.S. airspace by accident.
And happening today, Powerball jackpot is expected to be the 5th largest ever. That's because no one matched all 6 numbers drawn on Saturday night. This means tonight's jackpot is an estimated $747 million. It would be about $403 million if you choose a lump sum cash option. No one has won the Powerball jackpot since November 19th. Now, the jackpot is big, but not close to the all-time record just yet. That was $2.4 billion back on November 7th. We're still waiting to find out who bought that lucky ticket in California.
6:38 on your Monday morning, 59 degrees.
Exciting things coming to the San Antonio Zoo. After the break, we're going to take a closer look in this morning's Leading SA segment.
Just about 6:42 on your Monday morning. Welcome back. Big changes are coming to the San Antonio Zoo.
In case you missed Leading SA yesterday, the zoo CEO talked about some of the new things you can expect.
Tim Morrow joined us, and we talked about a lot. We talked about the new construction, the new experiences all coming to the San Antonio Zoo. We talked about the new entrances and how it's going to be more representative of San Antonio. And we talked about what people can expect in just the next few months. Take a listen to the conversation.
They should see a new front gate this year. So we're really excited about opening that around Christmas time, around the beginning of our Zoo Lights program. The other big thing we have coming online is gorillas. We haven't had a gorilla at San Antonio Zoo since 1991. We're building a very large habitat, actually designed as the largest habitat in the country. So we're hoping to have up to 10 or 12 gorillas. I'm really excited about that. That should open early 2025. And then the Kronkowski Tiny Tot Nature Spot and our new butterfly house are opening now. So people can come during spring break or this month and start to experience those things. But lots of big changes coming to the zoo.
And of course, we had to talk about the intriguing Valentine's Day event. You can find our full discussion right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of ksat.com. We have Leading SA every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So guys, we'll see you next Sunday. Back to you.
6:43.
Go ahead and check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
As Mike mentioned, that fog is not going anywhere, guys. Check out 37 at Loop 410. Still seeing a lot of that out there. And as Mike mentioned, can probably expect a little bit of mist out on the roadways or damp roadways. So just watch out as you get the morning rolling. We have entered morning rush, but thankfully no need to rush out the door. I think that fog will really just want people to help people slow down a little bit more out on the roadways. So slowdowns are really what we're seeing right now. And you can see a little bit of along US 90 eastbound as you're traveling into San Antonio from Castroville. Also, of course, on the northwest side near State Highway 16 near Helotes. So that's always expected, but also along 281, as a reminder, you want to watch out a little bit later this morning because we are going to see crews out there from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And this is part of the asphalt work that is going to be taking place a little bit throughout the next few days this week. So again, plan the commute ahead of time. We're going to see alternating lane closures in both directions right there at Borgfeld Drive. But other than that, we're almost at the end of the show, and I'm hoping that we can make it through without any incidents. But fingers crossed. We still have about 15 minutes to go, and then morning rush really kicks in.
Yes, indeed. Fingers crossed for everybody this morning. Stephen, thank you.
Here is just one of those pictures you could just stare at for a long time. Beautiful blue skies, a couple of clouds out there, and all of the
Plantersville, Texas, where they have no tree limbs down in that shot.
No, they don't. And a couple of mules out there and some cattle. What a great shot. View from the tractor in Plantersville. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, this one, ain't so pretty. A lot of fog over there at 10 at 410. Airport still at 8 miles, 3 Castroville, half mile Stinson, Pleasanton, quarter mile, go up 35, 10 in toward Bernie Stage, 90, 37 in all 4 points of the compass. You're going to run into some fog. Not further out in the hill country, though. Fredericksburg, Kerrville Junction, pretty good. Del Rio, Carrizo Springs, but then right just sort of in the middle, and Beeville's down to 0 visibility right now. Gonzales has a lot of fog, so dense fog advisory. Middle chunk of the area up until 10 o'clock this morning. Maybe some mist on the roads, a little drizzle here and there, damp roads. Temperatures won't move this morning. We will stay upper 50s and then get up into the low 60s. A little bit of sunshine is going to start to squeeze through here and there. We'll make it to 68 at noon. Top off at 75 later on today. A decent breeze, wind out of the south-southeast, 15, 20 miles per hour, maybe a bit gusty at times. And that'll just continue to pull in all the humidity, which will then feed some of these little sprinkly showers, which are going to maybe crop up by later on tonight in the overnight hours, perhaps 1 or 2 sprinkles around early tomorrow morning. And then as the day rolls on, we'll see a couple of more of these showers hanging around here. Then we get into dinner time, evening hours, when the front starts to work on through, and that's when that's going to start to touch off a few thunderstorms, especially off to the east early Wednesday morning. Some of those could be on the potentially strong to severe side, well off to the east. We're kind of on the fringes of it here in Gonzales County, up there around San Marcos, and then further off to the east, better chances for anything, and just an isolated one here or there with the high winds as well as hail. The low, which is moving on in here, that is what is helping to pump in the moisture. Then as it gets closer, the rain chances start to enhance a little bit, and it will work its way across the area, just pretty much around the panhandle, but close enough to give us that rain chance late tomorrow into early Wednesday. That moves out. We get cooler air on the backside of it, and then sort of a reinforcing shot of colder air that comes in here. So we'll get colder Friday as well as Saturday. Then same thing all over again. We start to get more humidity coming back on in here, more clouds, and that next low is going to work its way across here into the first part of then next week with another rain chance first part of next week. So the forecast today, we're going to make it up to 68 at noon, mostly cloudy skies, and then high temperature today up to 75, so about 10 above normal, a little bit of sunshine thrown in, primarily cloudy skies, and then tonight just a couple little sprinkly showers. Overnight, first part of the day tomorrow, a few more showers later on in the day, and then especially going into tomorrow evening and early on Wednesday. The front will clear things out, will be cooler. Pretty much normal temperatures then Wednesday, Thursday, colder Friday with that second sort of extra nudge of cold air moving on in here, down to freezing Saturday morning, and more clouds hanging around here over the weekend. Not bad weather pattern at all. Rain every couple of days. Colder temperatures.
And I'm also hoping this is the tail end of the mountain cedar season, which is pretty typical about Valentine's Day.
Yes, and recently it hasn't been too too bad.
Right.
We've had that
Not like in
few
years.
showers here, seems to kind of wash it out of the atmosphere a little bit more. So
Only fair. If it's going to season's going to start late, maybe it should end early, right?
We'll see.
We shall see.
And we've got a couple of fronts moving through this week, so we'll see if that holds.
I'm trying to be optimistic. It feels weird. 648, 59 degrees.
But then, of course, on the heels of that, Oak.
That's true.
A
See,
lot
there
of
we
folks,
go.
that's just as bad.
Yep, it's true. Or worse.
Hang in there. And important news if you're getting ready to do your taxes tomorrow on GMSA, some simple things you can do to make that process easier.
Outside with Live Cam. Thanks for starting your day with us right here on GMSA. We'll wrap things up on the morning show after this.
As we are witnessing history tonight, breaking the record for the most Grammy wins of all time.
And the Grammy goes to Beyoncé. With her win for Best Dance Electronic Music Album for Renaissance, the singer-songwriter's 32nd career Grammy surpassed classical music icon Sir George Solti for the most Grammy Award wins of all time.
I'm trying not to be too emotional. And I'm trying to just receive this night.
She came into the awards with 9 nominations, more than any other artist, winning 4.
An icon who won a Grammy earlier today, which means she's officially an EGOT, Viola Davis.
The night also crowned the latest EGOT winner as Viola Davis won Best Audiobook, Narration and Storytelling Recording for Finding Me. Davis is just the 18th person to win all 4 major entertainment honors. Brandi Carlile won a trio of trophies, as did Bonnie Raitt, who looked around in disbelief at winning Song of the Year for Just Like That.
I don't write a lot of songs, but I'm so proud that you appreciate this one.
You changed my life. You sang that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music.
Lizzo spent a portion of her acceptance speech for Record of the Year thanking Beyoncé.
By just being myself, by just being who I was born as, it's just, I'm so thankful.
Jazz singer Samara Joy took home Best Jazz Vocal Album and the coveted Best New Artist Grammy.
You can read it.
Harry Styles!
The night's final award saw Harry Styles, who'd already won Best Pop Vocal Album, winning Album of the Year for Harry's House. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we're following the breaking news from overseas, the devastating earthquake that has killed hundreds in Turkey and Syria. We're going to have the latest on that. And the fallout after the Chinese spy balloon was shot down over the weekend and what it could mean for relations with China. Those stories and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
Hot rods and heated tempers. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. Police say all of that led to a deadly shooting. Now, they found out about this around 1 o'clock this morning when the victim arrived in a car with his friends to a medical clinic near Loop 1604 on Petranco Road. But police say that is not where the shooting happened. They say that earlier they had broken up a car club meetup near Loop 410 and Marbach Road. And they say that group just moved to another location. Now, police believe at that other location, that is where the victim was shot. They say he was sitting in the car when someone walked up to him, had words with him, and then the shooting started. The victim was shot in the head. Now, so far, police have not released any information about him, including an age, and they have not arrested the shooter. Reporting from downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. All right, 6:55. Let's get a look at the commute. What you can expect right now to see is really not a whole lot of anything out there. We do have a thick fog in the area. Mike will mention that, but really it's not caused any issues in terms of crashes, at least for now. Folks, stay safe out there because we're starting to see a little bit of slowdowns pick up there, especially along US 90, as you can see it right there along 1604, and that's usually a hot spot where we tend to see those slowdowns, and that's why for our friends traveling in from Castroville, it's going to take you about 15 minutes to get to the Alamo City. So just remember to drive safe. But other than that, we can expect to see that fog lingering around for a while.
Thank you very much. I want to show this very quickly. Dr. Scott Kimball, he's got the Longhorns that were in the cattle drive, just sent this to me.
nice.
And yeah, what a great shot out there.
Beautiful.
And this morning, it's not as pretty. Got some fog hanging around, and we've got temperatures that are in the mid-upper 50s around the area. Visibility, as you can see, it's pretty thick in spots. This is going to be sticking around throughout mid-morning, and then plenty of clouds and a high today up to 75.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Be careful out there.
Have a great day.
We'll see you at GMSA at 9.
Good Morning America is next.